happens in our lives where something takes us to a place where we need to ask for help. And that's what food banks are here for. I asked Dale if Walmart would partner with us, and he said, absolutely, let's figure out how to get this done.
When you start working in an area and you're out in the stores and in the community, you see the need. It was just the right thing to do.
What a pleasant morning! It's warm, but not too warm. Why is he so happy?
He's happy because he found out Honey Nut Cheerios can help lower cholesterol.
So, I propose a quiet, meditative walk through nature. Yes, go
As a barber, nothing's gonna beat my shave, especially for guys who tend to get razor bumps with ordinary razors. But now, there's Gillette Skin Guard. It flattens the skin and lifts the blade for a shave that's close, but not too close for comfort.
The new MyWW Plus is our most holistic weight loss program ever.
You can choose any workout you want to fit with your time frame.
There are a ton of zero-point foods that I love. I never feel restricted.
The new MyWW Plus. Lose weight on us this winter. Get 3 months free.
Smooth driving pays off. With Allstate, the safer you drive, the more you save. You've never been in better hands. Allstate. Click or call for a quote today.
At Domino's, you can carry out 3-topping pizzas for just $7.99 each. And with Domino's Carside Delivery, you can conveniently stay in your car while you do it. Just pull up, check in online, and we'll quickly bring your food to you.
Thank you.
So you don't have to get out to get carry out. Like Denny here.
Hey, Hamlin.
All ever for 2 times the power. Neutrogena.
No.
We're making breakfast.
A year ago today, talks of the coronavirus first started popping up. A year later, now vaccines are being distributed across the nation and here in Alachua County. Republicans are continuing to block Trump's stimulus proposal. I have more on that next. Over the past 3 days, the Moderna vaccine has continued to roll out, and now here in Alachua County, first responders are getting in on the action. Thank you for joining me tonight. I'm Nicholas Treadway. Yesterday, the Gainesville Fire and Rescue were on the second day of receiving Moderna's vaccine. It was not mandatory, but many chose to get it. Some were skeptical at first, but decided to take the risk. Right now, people the age of 65 in Columbia and Marion County are able to apply for the COVID-19 vaccine. According to Levi County, they are expected to release their plans on the rollout of this phase of the vaccine distribution in the start of the new year. In order to get your name on the list, you will need to provide some basic information such as your date of birth, phone number, and address. Once eligible, residents submit their information on the website. They will be placed in line for a call back by staff or set in an appointment. Staff will call. It will come on a first come, first served basis as vaccines become available. While online applications are preferred, another way to apply is over the phone, which is listed here. Florida was one of the first states to begin distributing vaccines to the general public, but although it is struggling to keep up with demand, here's more on that.
Vaccine supply is still limited.
1 week after signing an executive order for COVID-19 vaccine distribution, Governor Ron DeSantis says the state doesn't have enough doses to meet the demand.
We don't have enough vaccine currently on hand for all 4 million plus senior citizens in the state of Florida.
Even with shipments of both Pfizer and Moderna already on schedule for the new year, counties are having trouble keeping up.
I think we're not alone either. As Florida, I think other states are still seeing a shortage in the doses.
Virologist Dr. Michael Tang with USF Public Health says more than 175 people have been vaccinated in the state, but that's less than 1% of the total population. The state planned to vaccinate nearly 400,000 people before 2021.
It's like 8 to 10 fold less people being vaccinated than we thought. And that's a big problem.
Doctors say the timeline for vaccinations in the state have to speed up, but will depend on federal help.
There is absolutely no reason we cannot get vaccines out faster to the American people.
Dr. Ashish Jha is the dean of Brown University's School of Public Health.
There really hasn't been much investment from the federal side, and states don't have the dollars and they don't have the resources to just figure all of this stuff out on their own.
State Agriculture Commissioner Nikki Fried agrees Florida needs to move quicker. She wants the governor to call out the National Guard to help distribute doses faster.
As of right now, there have been at least 3 reported cases of the variant of the coronavirus that was first discovered in the UK. 1 in Colorado, 1 in California, and now 1 here in Florida. Here's more information on the variant and how it was created.
First started to spread, and now there are new concerns. Janelle Bluda connects the dots.
The World Health Organization is investigating a new variant of coronavirus that has popped up in Britain, but experts say we shouldn't be worried that the virus is mutating. Let's connect the dots. Britain announced the new variant, saying it may be responsible for a sharp rise in cases in the south of England. There is no evidence that this mutation is more deadly than other strains, and authorities in Britain believe vaccines will still be effective against it. The mutation affects the spike proteins on coronavirus that allows it to infect cells. Right now, scientists are trying to determine if this mutation allows coronavirus to spread faster. The fact that this virus is mutating is not surprising. When a virus infects a cell, it starts making copies of its own genetic instructions. Those copies are not perfect copies, and mistakes, think of them like typos, build up over time as it spreads. If a change made in that code helps the virus survive, then that mutated strain has a better chance of surviving. But only certain changes in the code can make a virus deadlier, and therefore those changes are more rare. Mutations have actually helped scientists track coronavirus as it spread. That's how we know a mutated strain of COVID-19 spread from eastern China to Europe to New York City. The unique genetic sequence of the mutation allowed them to follow this pandemic as it unfolded. Connecting the dots, I'm Janelle Bluda for H-Town Rise.
Now here locally in North Central Florida, as I've been saying a lot, COVID cases are continuing to surge. The daily cases for today have been just over 160,000, and the daily deaths for today have been just over 100, and the percentage of tests that came back positive is just over 10%, which is over the 5% mark needed to go into phase 4. And here locally in North Central Florida, Alachua County has had 15,674 cases since the start of the pandemic, and there have been 128 deaths since the start of the pandemic. In Marion County, there have been 17,451 cases and 462 deaths. In Levi County, there's been 1,815 cases with 19 deaths. Coming up, your weather forecast and some details about the challenge against the election results, right after this. Sponsored by.
Have seasons in our lives where something takes us to a place where we need to ask for help, and that's what food banks are here for. I asked Dale if Walmart would partner with us, and he said, absolutely, let's figure out how to get this done.
When you start working in an area and you're out in the stores and in the community, you see the need. It was just the right thing to do.
What a pleasant morning. It's warm, but not too warm. Why is he so happy?
He's happy because he found out Honey Nut Cheerios can help lower cholesterol.
So, I propose a quiet, meditative walk through nature. Yes, go, Sergeant!
As a barber, nothing's gonna beat my shave, especially for guys who tend to get razor bumps with ordinary razors. But now, there's Gillette Skin Guard. It flattens the skin and lifts the blade for a shave that's close, but not too close for comfort.
The new My MyWW Plus is our most holistic weight loss program ever.
You can choose any workout you want to fit with your time frame.
There are a ton of 0-point foods that I love. I never feel restricted.
The new MyWW Plus. Lose weight on us this winter. Get 3 months free.
Smooth driving pays off. With Allstate, the safer you drive, the more you save. You've never been in better hands. Allstate. Click or call for a quote today.
At Domino's, you can carry out 3 topping pizzas for just $7.99 each. And with Domino's Carside Delivery, you can conveniently stay in your car while you do it. Just pull up, check in online, and we'll quickly bring your food to you.
Thank you.
So you don't have to get out to get carry out. Like Denny here.
Hey, Hamlin. I like your PJs.
PJs? What?
Stay in the driver's seat with Domino's Carside Delivery.
Ever wonder what retinol dermatologists use to fight wrinkles? It's what I use. Neutrogena, the #1 retinol brand used most by dermatologists. Rapid wrinkle repair visibly smooths fine lines in 1 week, deep wrinkles in 4. So you can kiss wrinkles and other wrinkle creams goodbye. Rapid wrinkle repair. Pair with our most concentrated retinol ever for 2 times the power. Neutrogena.
No.
We're making breakfast.
Yes, chef. Chef behind? Thank you, chef. Breakfast service is a wrap. Is your sous chef a busser, too?
Get your wins where you can. Lego with Eggo.
Should old acquaintance be forgotten, never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgotten, old lang syne? We'll take a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne.
Ted Danson is Mr. Mayor.
You do realize I'm lost, right?
Thursday, January 7th. Our city.
It's crying out for help.
We answer this together.
We look after each other.
You will come back from this.
Just trying to do the right thing.
I'm not leaving you!
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell all but shut the door on Wednesday on President Donald Trump's push for $2,000 COVID relief checks, declaring Congress has provided enough pandemic aid as he blocked another attempt by Democrats to force a vote.
The Senate will come to order.
On the Senate floor today, Democrats trying to force Republicans to pass a bill raising COVID relief payments for Americans from $600 to $2,000.
The fastest way to get money into Americans' pockets is to send some of their tax dollars right back from where they came.
The effort blocked by Majority Leader Mitch McConnell.
Object.
McConnell breaking with a growing number of GOP members and with President Trump, who earlier today called on Republicans to deliver the $2,000 payments. As the issue pits the president against his own party, it also unites congressional Democrats and the incoming administration with him. Vice President-elect Kamala Harris today joining President-elect Joe Biden, signaling support for the measure.
A while back, I recommended that folks receive a $2,000 check. And so I would urge Mitch McConnell to put my bill on the floor for a vote.
Meantime, the Senate plans a vote tomorrow on overriding President Trump's veto of the critical defense spending bill.
I would urge my colleagues to support this legislation one more time when we vote tomorrow.
Democratic Senator Bernie Sanders is trying to link the stimulus payments with that override vote.
Working families need help now. Not next year, but right now.
Senator Bernie Sanders threatening to delay the veto override vote unless Leader McConnell allows a full vote on the increased stimulus payments, leaving struggling Americans still not knowing how much relief they'll get.
Today, the verified...
All across the country, people have had their eyes locked.
Today, the Verify team has put together a video to show that COVID funding and how COVID funding is not going to foreign nations.
All across the country, people have had their eyes locked on this building behind me, trying to figure out what Congress would do as far as COVID relief. On Sunday night, President Trump signed a bill that would, among other things, send $600 to adults with a qualifying income and an additional $600 for each dependent child. And this brings up an interesting question we've received from many viewers. What exactly is a dependent? Let's verify what dependents qualify for the $600 check and which do not.
My name is Henry Grez from the AICPA.
Here's one of our sources from the Association of International CPAs. We also looked at the text of the bill itself and some analysis from the IRS and the U.S. tax code. First, we should break down what it means to be a dependent. Grez explains that you need to pass 2 tests to be considered a dependent. There's the support test.
The parent who's claiming you has to provide more than 50% of your support. You know, that would include food and lodging, tuition.
And then there's the residency test.
That child has to be living with you more than 50% of the time.
But just being a dependent doesn't mean your family's going to get a check. You had to be 16 years or younger on your parent or guardian's 2019 tax filings in order to be eligible.
So if you're 17 or older and can be claimed as a dependent on your parent's return, you're not going to qualify for this additional $600.
Now let's dive into a couple hypotheticals that I'm sure a lot of you parents out there are wondering. First, let's say that your child is 16 or younger, so they hit that age requirement, but they're off at boarding school. Do you get a check for them?
That's considered a temporary absence, so they're still technically living with their parent. They have the right to claim you as a dependent.
Okay, next question. Let's just say you had a baby in 2020. Do you get a check for them? Grez tells us that the answer is yes and no. You won't get $600 on your stimulus check for that new dependent, but you will get $600 when you file your 2020 tax return. So you won't get the $600 now, but come tax time, you should get it.
South Carolina Congressman Joe Wilson has added his name to the list of those objecting to the Electoral College's certification of the 2020 presidential election on January 6th. Here's more on that overall topic.
He will object when Congress convenes to certify the Electoral College vote next week. Hawley said he can't vote to certify without raising concerns about what some states, he says, have failed to follow their own election rules. He said Democrats did the same thing after elections in 2004 and 2016. Dozens of lawsuits seeking to overturn the presidential election results have been unsuccessful over the last month and a half. A newly elected U.S. representative from Illinois said she will back the objection, which means there will be a floor debate in the House and Senate. It could delay the votes, but it is not expected to alter the final certification of Joe Biden's victory.
Still to come, news about local shelters and how they are at full capacity right after this.
Mom, why do we always come here for the holidays?
How did you find Great-Grandma's recipe? We're related to them? We're Portuguese? I thought we were Hungarian.
Grandpa, can you tell me the story again?
Behind every question is a story waiting to be discovered.
Welcome back. 2021 is nearing, although tonight is not like normal. Let's travel to New York, where we can see Times Square. Now this year you may or may not know that there are not spectators allowed. Times Square does still plan on having the ball dropped at the stroke of midnight to signal the new year, even if crowds aren't allowed to gather in person for it. Not to mention, this year's ball will implement 192 water-forward crystals from the new Gift of Happiness design within the 2,688 crystals traditionally used in the geodesic sphere design, according to the official Times Square website. I don't know what all that means, but that sure does sound awesome. An 18-year-old from Gainesville is in jail with a bond of $675,000 after a drug-induced attack of a man Tuesday evening. Deputies say. At approximately 9:15 p.m. on Tuesday, deputies responded to the 2800 block of Southeast 27th Avenue for an armed disturbance, according to the report. Deputies spoke with the victim and a witness who explained that Marcus McCabe, 18, had attacked a victim with a metal pipe. Deputies in Marion County are searching for a theft suspect. Deputies say the woman went shopping on Walmart on Bahia Avenue and filled her cart with items. She then left the store without paying for any of the merchandise. Anyone who recognizes the suspect is asked to call the sheriff's office at 352-732-9111 or at Crime Stoppers of Marion County at 352-368-STOP. Shelters in Gainesville are calling out for help as they reach full capacity. Family Promise of Gainesville is a shelter for homeless families with children. Executive Director Jane Moraski said since the pandemic, they've seen a dramatic number of people seeking help. Before COVID, Family Promise of Gainesville was averaging about 5 calls a day. Since COVID, that number has more than doubled. Family Promise of Gainesville is hoping for more government assistance so they can support those in need. But they are fearful what next month will look like when the eviction protection expires. Northside will be right back.
Mom, why do we always come here for the holidays?
How did you find Great-Grandma's recipe? We're related to them? We're Portuguese? I thought we were Hungarian.
Grandpa, can you tell me the story again?
Behind every question is a story waiting to be discovered.
At Target, order today and get it today. Just use Target's same-day delivery or drive up. For groceries, gifts, and more on your list, it's the fastest way to get what you need today at
A Florida Gator football season that held so much promise and contained historic performances ended with some sloppy play and a rare blowout loss in Wednesday's Cotton Bowl in Arlington, Texas. Number 7 Florida lost its third straight a 55-20 defeat into a number 6 Oklahoma to finish the season 8-4 overall. The Sooners wrap up 9-2. Heisman Trophy finalist Kyle Trask threw 3 first quarter interceptions and was held without.
And you can see how he can accelerate. It's a good run by Anthony Richardson.
Well, that does it for tonight's newscast, and the new year is about less than 30 minutes away. And let me just say, 2020 has been a great year, which is what I would have said any other year. But in all seriousness, thank you for joining me tonight. NBC's New Year's Eve 2021 is next. Stay safe and Happy New Year.